Super. BS.
Bring. Moshi Moshi. Oh, thank you. Thanks for having us choose the Game of the Year award, Mr. Miyamoto-san, Reggie-san, and whoever runs Sony-san. I'm here, Professor Brank.
Phil Spector-san.
Phil Spector-san. Oh, yeah. I guess it's not. I didn't add Microsoft-san. Professor Brank's here. They've asked us to choose the Game of the Year. Who's with me, right across from me?
Just your friendly neighborhood Donna.
Your friendly neighborhood Donna, helping us choose the Game of the Year. And who's next to Madonna?
Jank, rank.
This will never end. This will never end.
I feel like we talked about this too.
Yeah, I feel like we decided you weren't going to be Jank, McBank. We'll just have you carry all of the nicknames that nobody had. You're Jank, Stank, Bank, McRank.
That way, when we have new members, I can actually pick one of their names off of my name.
That's how people choose a name. Anyways, there's a lot to talk about today, so I want to get straight to it. Josh, what have you been playing?
So I am still playing Assassin's Creed Origins. Okay. I got to level 21, cool. And I have been unlocking pieces of the map. I got to the corner of the game last night and just got rocked because, as you mentioned before the podcast started, that they separate these areas by levels like an RPG. So I am level 21.
And they show you the levels on the map.
I was not paying attention.
This is a very simple level, says 38, 240. Don't go here pretty much. Might as well. The enemies have red skulls on their heads.
Yeah,
so.
I just thought that meant they were a bad guy.
Do you know what red skulls means?
Clearly not.
Did you not watch Captain America, the first Avenger?
Hugo Weaving, man. It's just.
Am I really quiet?
I'm fixing you. But so anything besides Assassin's Creed or?
Live on the air, me being fixed.
No, but I do want to say a story real quick. My nephew came in, he was watching me play, and he goes, he's at that age too where he likes to talk crap.
Did you assassinate your nephew?
Yeah, almost. He was like, my stepbrother can totally beat you he's better than you at Assassin's Creed. And I go, first of all, there's no way to really prove who's better at an Assassin's Creed game. And second of all, no, I freaking can't.
He sucks.
He sucks, yeah, I do.
So he's your nephew.
He's my nephew.
So he's your sister's kid or your brother's kid?
He's my sister's kid.
And your sister has remarried, so she has a stepbrother.
Yeah, no, my sister married someone with a kid, and I have a nephew now.
So let's go over the whole family
tree. Wait. So you have two nephews. You have a stephew and a regular nephew, right? Because he said his own stepbrother could beat you, or he said his dad could beat you.
His stepbrother on his mom's side, or his mom's son can beat me.
Let's go.
You should have just said. You should have just said, yeah. Well, I come from a plain nucular family.
Oh no!
That's
I was
funny.
about to say
That's
a very
funny, but
similar
it's probably too dumb to understand what that means.
I was about to say something like, "Well, at least your real brother can't be." Sorry, this is getting really mean right now to all people with stepbrothers out there. Anyways, anything else about Assassins?
No.
Okay,
Assassins in general.
I haven't played a lot either, so I'm gonna go real quick, real next. I've been playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Just came out on Tuesday, which is, as of recording, yesterday, but I downloaded Monday. It's really fun, really intense. I get why all the people on PC really enjoy it. It's got moments where you're like proning through big cornstalk areas to like run into a barn where there may or may not be somebody, and then you'll get into a firefight. I tried Hat in Time, which I Kickstarter backed, which was really, really cool. It's really janky. You could tell it was done by like a small team. I wish it was on Switch because I just, I've got a bunch of other games on my Xbox. And then I bought the Zelda DLC because that was announced. We'll talk a little bit about that in a short news section. And like Josh, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins. I love that game.
What level are you?
I am 28. And I just really enjoy. Egypt is so diverse. They've made it such a cool game. It feels like what should be the next Prince of Persia. Like, it feels like that's where they were going. And they're like, oh, Assassin's Creed is more
I'm surprised they went there with Assassin's Creed before Prince of Persia.
Oh, I mean, Prince of Persia is pretty much dead. They stopped it last gen. Like, I don't think we'll see a Prince of Persia game ever again, which is a bummer. That series was great.
Yeah. Prince of Persia was like, hey, Ubisoft, where's my game? And he said, oh, it's the other guy's fault. Egyptia.
Oh.
That is a very good singer. Okay, Donna, you've been playing a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, so
Lay it on us.
The first thing that I want to highlight that I've been playing is actually a mobile game called Reigns Her Majesty.
Oh.
And it's
the
swipe game, yeah. So it's a sequel, and I caught it online, and it just sounded interesting. And also, I'm familiar with the person that wrote the game when she used to write. She did freelance writing, I think, for different websites.
Who is it?
I think her name's Leigh Alexander, something like that.
Oh yeah, she used to work for write with Kotaku.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so the game, you play it like Tinder. You basically, it's really simple, and this highlights the good that mobile games can do. This reminds me of something like Terra Battle. This is a game that exists. This is not a crappy version of a game that's ported to mobile for cash. This is a game that's designed with mobile in mind. It's really simple. Basically, you are a queen, and you kind of deal with these characters. They pop up to you, and they ask you questions or things, and you swipe left or right, often for yes or no, but also for other things. And if you delve down the path of paganism, which happens a lot because the church, it's like a medieval kingdom, so the church is you basically have like a rating, a standing with the church, a standing with the people, a standing with like military power, and then a standing financially. And you're running the kingdom because the king's adult. So
not an adult.
Yes. So you basically, different decisions affect your ratings in these things. And if anyone gets too low, you basically die. Also, if they get too high, you basically die. So it's like you die a lot, but if you and then you have all these like kind of quest things to live a certain amount of years as queen, and you're constantly essentially not reincarnated, but your soul is like instituted into like the new queen, and it's like a
Infinity Blade. Like, did you ever play that where you'd keep going to fight the last guy, and then you keep dying and coming back to the castle?
Exactly like that.
Hold on, real quick. I'm sort of confused. Is this like a role playing game, or is it a text based game?
It's a text based game. It's not a role playing game. But there are like quest quote unquote objectives where it's like, in this round of your like, and you come back as essentially not always as your own daughter, but as the next queen. But it's your soul like kind of put into it. So you are like you're constantly having to deal. So if you do things you die hilariously too. It's like if you become too popular with the people, they storm your castle to give you gifts, and you end up getting trampled to death.
That's pretty awesome.
And you'll often you'll find new people. They'll say like, oh, you want to go explore this new land, and then you'll meet a new character, and then you get a whole new set of cards. They call them cards of like events to like kind of sort through and like to make decisions on. If you pursue basically, because I think there's this kind of theme that like earth magic and paganism are like very like associated with women, especially in the medieval era. So there's this kind of theme that if you pursue any of the like pagan people as like friends or lovers or whatever, you'll eventually like take part in some ritual, and you'll meet the All-Mother, which is like and that's where the game gets kind of interesting, because she reveals to you like this is her gift to you, but it's also a curse. Like you are what's it called? You are destined to be reborn as queen. But I find the game super fascinating. It's really easy to pick up and play. It's got really cool music.
What does it cost?
It was like $2.
Okay.
Super worth it. Super worth it for something that's like actually unique and strange and interesting. It's constantly funny things. There's like if you bankrupt your kingdom, the king's like, all right, honey, we got to pack up before everyone like gets mad and comes to kill us, and then you get eaten by wolves. Or it's like, oftentimes if you become too strong-willed or too pagan, the church will execute you we can't have a witch in power. So there's lots of funny things. There's also like you'll make relations with like northern kingdoms, and they'll say things like they'll try to poison you, and so there's it's pretty fun.
I feel like iOS does, even though we kind of bag on it a lot, it has a lot of really cool experiments like that, you know, because it's a lot easier to do that. I think it's $100 to put a game on the iOS store.
And it's kind of allowed indie makers to kind of make a name for themselves too.
Yeah, especially like, did you guys ever get to see Papers, Please? I don't want to get too far off.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's a really cool idea too, where you're essentially a border guard who has to determine if the people have the right paperwork.
Yeah,
you know?
this game is actually a sequel to a King version of the game.
He Reigns Majesty or something like that.
Yeah, Reigns Majesty.
I hadn't heard about that. I hadn't heard about this one.
I hadn't heard about the first one. I just saw an article on the second one, and I was bored one day in the car and picked it up. Not while I was driving.
While he was driving, he picked it up, and then he's like playing while he's driving.
Yeah.
What real games have you been playing now?
But yeah, so I've restarted this game called Legend of Legacy. I want to say maybe it's the name's been brought up before. I don't know if I've talked about it much.
I think we talked about it the early part of the year, but because we talked a lot about RPGs.
Yeah, so typically I like to always have a handheld game that I'm playing through, even if it's at a snail's pace, unless it's Dragon Quest, at which it becomes my life until I beat it, because Dragon Quest is amazing.
Awesome.
But I had finished Fire Emblem Echoes, as I had said, and so I loaded in this game, Legend of Legacy, that I picked up a while ago. It's basically it's made by the people that made the Saga games at Square.
Yeah.
So
Romancing Saga 2 comes out Friday.
Exactly, and this is part of why I've been playing it. So that guy, I forget his name, the designer, and I could be wrong about this.
right?
No, Ito's the guy that made like I think 6. And he directed 6 or something. And he's the guy that Sakaguchi said could save Final Fantasy, although 15 ended up being great.
Yeah.
That's actually... But I would still kill... I think I would still kill for that... I think it's Hiroyuki Ito.
Yeah.
I would kill for him to direct. I think he's the only like old guard left at Square.
Was he ever offered a chance to do something like that?
We don't know. We don't really know how Square works internally. But there was an interview with the guy that invented Final Fantasy,
right,
who's no longer obviously at Square. And they said, what do you think... Is there anyone you think could save the franchise? And he said, Ito. And so anyway, that's off the topic. Anyway, so the designer of this game, the Saga games, it actually dates back to Final Fantasy II, the real Final Fantasy II, which has a very experimental system of stat gain and grinding and stuff. And then the Saga games kind of branch off that into further interesting territory. Now this game is interesting. So you cannot grind essentially. Increasing your stats is random. So even in a game like Final Fantasy II, where it's like the more you attack with your sword, the stronger your sword attack will be, almost kind of like a Elder Scrolls or any kind of like that kind of RPG.
Dying Light.
And that was a very hackable system, because if you wanted to grind in Final Fantasy II, you could just
attack your own guys, right?
You could just attack your own guys. You'll get HP for...
You could do that?
This is not Final Fantasy II Super Nintendo, by the way. We're
talking
talking about the real original Final Fantasy II that wasn't released till PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy II on Super Nintendo is Final Fantasy IV.
That's part of the that Origins collection?
Origins, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can essentially grind that way. In this game, it's similar in that the more you attack with your sword, the stronger your sword attack will be, but the actual gaining strength of it is all random number generator. So it's not likely at all in a normal battle that you'll get anything out of it. So not even money drops are even random. So basically the game is a very defensively played game, because you have to go up against hard enemies. And it's a very vague game too. It looks great. It's got this kind of Bravely Default feel, storybook backgrounds that pop up, chibi characters, which are hit or miss for me. But awesome music by the guy that wrote the score to Final Fantasy 13. And so it's a cool feeling game. It is extremely punishing though, and when you run away from battle, it starts you at the very beginning of the area.
Wow.
The usefulness with that, areas are not huge, and part of the game is exploring maps to 100% the map, and then you can sell the map for money. So because money that's pretty much the only way to really make money in the game, except for random items and stuff. So what you can do with these really hard fights, like I'm in an area where there's a fight that you cannot win at this point in the game.
Okay.
But you can, when you fight enemies that are way beyond you, you can awaken your skills. So when you attack with your sword, you're basically learning arts for the sword. And you have a higher chance of unlocking new arts when you're fighting enemies that are way above you. And that works the same for blocking, for any weapon that you
Is
use.
it random?
It is random, so the chances are just much higher on harder enemies. It's the same for learning magic spells. And then there's also, what makes this game interesting and complicated is that the game has formations that you choose at the start of each turn. So you can essentially set like a tank to block all the attacks, and then you have 2 attackers. Or you can set someone into support mode, which is good for magic and healing and stuff. And then each of the, even more complicated, is that each of the moves has a different rating whether you're using it in block or guard mode, attack mode, or support mode. The moves are the same, but it's like if you're in attack mode using your attack art a bunch, it's going to grow in its attack form. So it's pretty complicated, but basically what it boils down to is the game is played defensively. So you have to like...
it's sort of spamming the attack button.
You can't spam, yeah, exactly, because regular enemies will rock you. What's cool about it in the sense of Saga is that the game actually has 7 characters to play through the game with. You can pick each of them as a main character. Now, on what I've been reading online, which is probably going to limit my game to just one playthrough, is that there's not a lot of variance between them because you can get every character in one playthrough, and it's a pretty story light game. It's more of an aesthetic game. And also what you get for beating the game like 7 times with every character is not really
worth it.
Not really
No
worth
incentive.
it.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to play anything else this week?
Yeah, more Tomb Raider, more Elder Scrolls. I hit 50 in Elder Scrolls, which activates its champion point system.
Yeah, that's
which is
pretty cool.
It's different, but it's similar in concept to Destiny. Like when you reach the level cap, there's a
just
new
worry
version
about
of getting stronger.
How many hours did that take you?
Not a lot. So I do have an ESO Plus subscription.
Okay.
So that gives you
Bonus XP.
10% more gold,
geez.
XP, and everything. And then also, the game came with, I think, a couple crown crates for me, which is their like microtransaction loot boxy thing, and those come with.
I would real quick. It's way better than a loot box.
Oh,
You
yeah,
choose
yeah.
what you want to buy.
Yeah, it's much.
Their,
They do
their
have
currency.
They do have crates though that are random, but they come with generally useful stuff, and if you don't like it, you can convert it to something else. So,
okay.
But basically, they have experience scrolls that give you 50% bonus experience, and then I have a friend that's been playing the game for a long time who can craft, and so with the crafting system in that game allows you to assign traits to what you craft, and there's a trait called training, which increases the experience you get. So think of it this way. I have 10% experience buff from my subscription. When I choose to use it, I have a 2-hour 50% experience buff from a scroll, and I've got 10 or so of those. So I had 10 or 20 of those scrolls.
Oh wow!
And then I have a full armor set of a main weapon, a backup weapon, and head, chest, arms, greaves, feet, all that kind of stuff that each have an extra 7 to 9% experience buff on
and those stack, right?
Yeah, they all stack.
Wow, you're talking almost like 100% experience buff by the
and
if you use all that stuff.
This is fun too because the game is so fun to quest in because it's like playing an Elder Scrolls game. You go to an area, it's cool and unique. There's tons of quests to do. You can totally get lost doing it. Most of the PvE content is like soloable, so you don't have to like frustrate yourself with trying to like group with people unless you're doing like public dungeons or things like that, or world bosses. And it's better than when you get to 50, when you get to the end, when you start getting into the end game, you know how to play the game instead of like one of these like long running MMOs that lets you like buy a potion to start your character at 50.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have all these people that I read these complaints, it's with WoW and with Final Fantasy 14 that the reason that people hate that is because you get these people that are high level, but they actually suck at playing the game.
Yeah.
So they can't even do
because they can buy those.
Yeah,
right?
they can't even do
all the experience.
Yeah, they can't do the end game content. They don't know how to cycle through move sets. They don't know how to do all the stuff that's important to an MMO that's role based.
Yeah. It is strange that concept of allowing someone to buy their way to the max level or near the max level when the whole point of the game is to gain the levels so you learn the skills while you're leveling. You know, like,
I mean, I guess if you are like an MMO player that understands MMOs and you're not a content MMO player, you're like a meta player. Yeah. It's like you're interested in the high level raids, the end game, all that kind of stuff. Like for me, I'm not really as interested in that because I don't have the time to invest in just learning all of the minutia that go with that. So for me, it's about the content. So Elder Scrolls has so many cool provinces and dungeons and caves and things to explore. Same with like 14. It's such like a cool, like all the areas are so cool. So to me, I want to burn through the content. I'm not so interested in like the loot drops and like all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I don't want to talk about it anymore because we've already talked about that.
Well, no, it is really interesting. I wish we had more time to talk about that, but there are a few news articles that we're going to jump into before we do a real quick break. I think the biggest one, and this is non-gaming related, but this is just huge news, period, is the Fox acquisition by Disney that's about to go through this week.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of crazy things about that.
What do you think about it, Josh?
I think it's a...
Let me just say before you start that
Nice.
that was a great interruption.
That was a very good interruption.
You know, I could almost feel it when you start to do that.
He's ready for it. No, we don't get a chance to ask you about this, and this is kind of something I know you care a lot about, the film stuff. So what do you think about this acquisition?
Yeah, I think I heard something that the Trade Commission was trying to... they're not too fond of this idea.
It's
Disney.
illegal, a lot of these ideas, because it's going closer and closer to monopoly. So
Yeah, right.
But does it matter with entertainment the same way?
It should. Everything should be, a monopoly should be stopped, because then it's only a matter of time before that gets into Congress and they get to change all the laws.
Here's a problem, though, in this case, is that it's going to be so good for... Fox has done such a terrible job with all of their Marvel properties.
That's true.
And with The Simpsons. So
yeah, yes. Hopefully Disney will put it to rest and then put Simpsons on Hulu, which they are the majority stock owner in. Mm-hmm. So that would be awesome. But anyways, sorry.
No. I mean, from what I understand, like they're not buying all of Fox. Like they're
doing
Fox,
their TV and films. So they're not taking Fox News.
They're not taking and they're not taking like the sports stuff because that would conflict with ESPN.
Okay, yeah, they can't do that. Yeah.
You know, as far as the movies go, I mean, every Marvel fan would be stoked to see like the X-Men team up with the Avengers. And I know that Kevin Feige is interested in doing that, and they were talking about maybe trying to coax.
It's not Kevin Feige. I always read it as Kevin Feige.
I thought it was Feige Nemo.
Feige.
I just didn't know.
I thought it was Feige. I always hear people on podcasts pronounce it Feige.
I don't want to interrupt you on this, but I have to real quick ask. It doesn't Fox own the word mutants too? Isn't this like a new thing where they can finally use the word mutants?
They do, and now they can. But the problem is, how are they going to introduce these characters into the world? Because all this crazy stuff in the Marvel universe has happened. And where were the X-Men at?
So you read that after Avengers 4 in 2 years, that they're basically going to
reboot.
Not reboot, but they said everything will be totally different from there on out. So they might reboot. I don't know if they'll reboot, but I think it'll be more like maybe they'll do like the Secret Wars series, like where they end the universe and essentially restart.
It would be cool too to have different Captain Americas or different, like Chris Evans.
I feel like with certain characters, it's like because I know apparently Robert Downey Jr. is like ready to be done.
Yeah.
But it's like man, Thor was so good. I don't want a new Thor.
I know, but I think we got a while for him. But anyways, anything else about that? About the Fox acquisition that
they're supposed to announce a deal by Friday, they said.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's just like and it's funny too because James Cameron's like, well, if anything, I feel like Avatar will be a lot safer at Disney. But if Avatar 2 doesn't do well, then
Avatar 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. He said then it's over, and all the money that Disney has thus far put into like their Pandora exhibits at Walt Disney World and all that, like it'll just. It's going to either make or break that.
Avatar is very much the Kingdom Hearts of movies.
Yeah. They should have honestly just bought Fern Gully. It would have been way cheaper. Nobody used it. It's the same story.
Way cooler.
Yeah. They put a Fern Gully exhibit up at Walt Disney World.
No, but I think it's a good idea. And like Disney will not only be getting Fox, but they'll be getting all their like smaller quote unquote indie studios they have like Fox Searchlight and all that
FX?
stuff.
That's owned by Fox, isn't
it? They'll get FX.
That's
crazy.
Like
they'll be acquiring a whole lot of stuff. So
it's interesting. The biggest implication of this though obviously has to do with Marvel. Like I don't think a lot of people are like, oh, what's going to happen to all the cool FX series like
Family Guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not going to be
know,
but with the Marvel thing, it'll be interesting. I really hope that they don't waste a lot of breath on Fantastic Four. I'm sure there's Marvel fans out there that think they're cool, but I don't even think Spider-Man is cool. So Fantastic Four seems like such It just seems like a waste, especially when it's like the X-Men. That's what people want to see.
If they're gonna do it, don't give them their own movie. Just have them
just bring them in.
Just
you know,
pop
like
up somewhere. Yeah,
do it in a big thing. Like, I don't want to get too into TV right now because we have just so much to talk about. But like, we probably all saw the trailer for the newest, whatever it's called, Avengers
Star
movie.
Wars.
The new Star Wars.
What's that?
The new Avengers movie. I don't remember what it's called. It's not called
Infinity
War. And they brought everybody together. And it looks awesome. It looks like a ton of fun. It looks like it's gonna be silly and fun. What a superhero movie should be, just like Thor Ragnarok was. We talk about this for forever. We need to talk about real quick the PlayStation experience, which also happened since we last recorded.
That's true.
That I thought it was kind of lame. I don't know what you guys thought, but like they didn't really show anything.
It felt dry to me, and I was excited about the Death Stranding thing, but like it was an 8-minute trailer, and they didn't really talk about like what we could expect with. I mean, the
Death Stranding is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah,
it's not coming out.
Yeah, and the cinematics look awesome, but the gameplay could suck for all we know. But everyone's getting all hyped over it.
The only thing that really I was interested in, because it seems like they're going to push a lot of VR, which I don't care about and won't care about. There's not like Fallout VR, Skyrim VR. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. There's people that love it, that love new technology. But for the most part, it's like, it's cool, but it's not the best way to play this game.
Yeah, it's especially PSVR, which is the weakest, but it's sold the most.
Right.
So it makes sense. It's the cheapest.
So I read a comment or something somewhere that like PSVR is Sony's new Vita. It's like their thing that, like their secondary technology they're going to try and push. So, I mean, I actually don't hope it works out for them because I don't really want to see VR be a thing.
I don't really want to.
The big complaint I'm hearing about that is that it can't keep up with the movements of the players. So
and it's also not room scale, which is kind of lame. Like room scale VR is, if I was interested in VR, that's the only one I'd be interested in because otherwise you're just putting on a headset to then use a controller,
right?
Or do a shooting gallery. You can't move.
Yeah. So,
what do you guys think of Donut County? Sorry, I had to interrupt.
That looks interesting.
It looks cool. It's like a Katamari type game where you have a hole and you keep sucking things up and it gets bigger and bigger. It looks stupid. But
also, the Medieval remaster. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't know.
I don't remember liking that game though.
I remember liking it. It's like
Dan.
I like it the way. Yes, Dan Fortescue or whatever. Or,
I remember it was a mindless game that I could just sit there and play.
Yeah,
it reminds me of like it's like the Nightmare Before Christmas of PlayStation 1 games. Like, it like looks cool and it's like this goofy gothic thing, but I don't know if I'd ever really replay it. I think of all of the Sony remasters, I think the only one I'm really interested in is Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, and at the price point, I think it's $40. At $30, I'll probably jump. I really, really enjoyed that. I'd be down to play it again. Okay, so after that, right before the PlayStation experience, Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year awards happened, and
that's right.
It was crazy. So, just spoiler real quick: Breath of the Wild won for the Game of the Year. I didn't get to watch all of the other awards. I did see the Champions of the Ballad DLC was announced and released. Like they did a few other announcements. Was the Mega Man? Oh, that was never mind. That was previous.
Yeah.
Bayonetta for Switch.
Oh, Bayonetta 1 and 2 and 3 are exclusive to Switch. That's crazy. But yeah, there's been a ton of news. I just real quick want to go over the Switch announcements just because I've read about a dozen of them and they're all pretty cool. Do you guys remember Titan's Quest, the Diablo-like PC game?
Yes.
So that's going to be a Switch game. That's announced for very soon. Wasteland 2, the guy we've talked a lot about, Torment Tides of Numenera in Exile. That's coming to Switch. There was the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which is Street Fighters 1 through 3 with all like 10 of their games. All of that's coming to Xbox, PS4, and Switch. And then there was, I can't even remember. There's been so many announcements at the end of the year, which is like almost unheard of. So I was hoping we were looking into a slow next year, but it seems like it's going to be crazy. Did any of those announcements stick out to you guys?
Fortunately, with the Sony experience, it's like, how many of those games are coming out next year?
No, they didn't even give a date for God of War. That was the craziest
but they
thing.
were like, it's going to take you about 30-something hours to play through the whole game.
Oh, that's right. That's
I
what
don't
they
even
said.
want to play 30 hours. Just give me the 12-hour game again.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about that a lot here, and this will probably come up in the Game of the Year. Like, we need some shorter games. Like, we didn't even get through half of these games.
Right.
Shorter focus experience. Oh, man.
Anything else that you guys read that was kind of cool before we take a quick break and then come back to discuss?
Didn't something get announced for Xbox or Microsoft?
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, they get
for
that
May.
release date of
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's cool.
We'll see how that is. Looks fun.
I feel like the Video Game Awards had a few cool announcements, but nothing like groundbreaking. It was, I think, the biggest thing was the Zelda DLC dropping that night.
But they talked a little bit about the storyline for The Last of Us, right? She said it was like a lot darker.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time people say that type of stuff, it makes me literally just roll my eyes because every game's like, oh, it's going to be darker and cooler and blah, blah, blah.
It's going to be more like Batman Begins.
It's going to be the DC.
I don't think anybody watched Thor Ragnarok and realized things should be fun and silly.
Right.
Like, it doesn't always have to be crazy dark.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, cool. We'll be back real soon to talk about the games we love this year.
Hey everyone, venture into the pop culture cosmos today, where you'll hear our conversations on different topics within the world of movies, TV, video games, comic books, technology, board gaming, and more. You'll also get a taste of some of our other shows within the cosmos as well. So come on and join us each week as we delve into the pop culture cosmos.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.
It's that time that you all have been waiting for. We're about to discuss Super BS's favorite games that came out in 2017. We're going to read a list of the games that came out this year, but we're going to exclude games like remasters where things weren't changed, really. We're going to keep reimaginings on this list, like the Metroid from 3DS and Fire Emblem Echoes, because those are nearly totally different games from what first came out. We're also going to not put in early access games. So PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, even though it's an enjoyable game and I've played a little bit of it, we're not even going to discuss it. It's not even technically out. So with that, we're going to just go over this list, and whenever you guys played the game, just chime in, or if you have something to say about it. Gravity Rush 2.
That didn't have a Vita release, right?
No, it did not.
Yeah, that's why
I didn't play it, so.
I played Gravity Rush 1.
Yeah, I enjoyed a little bit of it. I didn't play it
enjoyed
that
it.
much.
I watched people play Gravity Rush 2, and it's a
rush.
It's a fun
a rush.
looking game. I just never wanted to pick it up.
I played the demo.
Supposedly it controls better than 1, right?
Yeah, and the
one was
demo was enjoyable, but it came out this year, which was its problem.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I would have bought it. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
Now I only played Kingdom Hearts SD 2.7.
Yeah.
pre-final chapter epilogue.
Did
It's
any of
the
us play
epilogue
this?
to the pre-final chapter prologue.
That's the sequel, right?
Now this has what's included. Is that the one with Dream Drop
Aqua.
Distance?
Yes. I think, Dream Drop Distance, some video of some sort, because they always do a video. And this one, like a short 3-hour campaign where you play as Aqua. Did anyone play this?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm still convinced that one day I'll play through Dream Drop Distance.
I would like to, but I hated that mechanic.
I hated the dropping.
We could
Oh
talk
my
about that
gosh.
for like 3
I
hours.
am still
with how
trying
much
to bring
sucks.
myself to play through any Kingdom Hearts game.
Really? I
Play-
love those.
just play
but-
1 and 2 and Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, you bought them, man. You
I
should
did.
still play.
Yeah, I know. I need to try.
Okay, our favorite game, Tales of Berseria. Dude,
Breastaria?
Berseria. How many of us played this?
Braziria.
I was waiting for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to get my anime breast intake. So I skipped Tales of Breast Area.
So I'm crossing off the list. Resident Evil 7. No.
I watched the trailer for it several times.
Yeah, they have a demo on Xbox One too, and I downloaded it. I just haven't had the time to play it.
It was on sale on Black Friday.
It's on sale all the time.
Yeah.
They actually just released all DLC, which they released a lot of DLC for it, for $50. So we're crossing that off the list. For Honor.
Yeah, I played For Honor.
Okay, we'll keep this on the list for right now, and we'll write Josh.
Okay.
Neo.
Neato.
No, yeah, I didn't play it either. It looked really cool, but I didn't get a chance to play it. Halo Wars 2.
Never played it.
Oh, we got Josh on here. He's going to rep that game for his favorite game of the year. Night in the Woods? No, I didn't either. It was a really cool looking indie where it was like about coming back to your hometown and being old and not having a job. So everybody in Orange County can kind of feel for that. Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay, I played it, so I'll bring it in. I don't know if it's one of my favorite games, but it's at least worth discussing. Torment, Tides of Numenera.
I played it.
Okay, cool. So I've played a little bit of it too, so that's at least something I can speak to. Breath of the Wild, we all three
Neither
have
of us
played
have-
it.
No.
Did that come out this year?
Yeah, all three of us have played it, and for the most part, we've gotten pretty far. Nier Automata, I've played. Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Tempted, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
came out at a bad time, but it looked really cool. Mass Effect Andromeda.
We've never
Our
talked about
favorite
that game ever.
Okay, I played a little bit, and so has Josh. Wow. Can't believe that came out this year. Okay, I played Snake Pass. I'm going to put it on there. I don't know if it's going to get very far.
I fought snakes yesterday in Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I fought them yesterday in Assassin's Creed
Hey,
Origins.
me too.
Fought a ghost snake.
Ghost Snake.
How'd you kill it?
I ghosted it.
Ghost. Nice.
I called the Ghostbusters, actually.
Dragon glass.
I played Persona 5. I don't know how far that's going to get. This is going to be a top 5 list, and I enjoyed it, but I only played...
It's on my top 5 of games I wish I played.
Yeah, I only played 40 hours, so I obviously didn't get very far in that style of game. Ukulele, I also played. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
I had a friend bring me a ukulele when I was in the hospital for 2 months, so I played that too.
You played that, so we can definitely all talk about our ukuleles.
Yeah, there we go.
Fire Emblem, I mistyped it here. It's Echoes, Shadows of Valencia. So Eric played that, or Donna. Prey, I played Prey.
I play Prey.
Okay. Arms.
I prayed a lot.
I prayed a lot. Did anybody play Arms? No. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Sonic Mania.
I played it.
Okay. We got this. Hellblade.
I played it.
Okay. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Played it.
I saw Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Same thing.
It's the same thing, same quality.
Metroid: Samus Returns. No, man. It came out on the 3DS. I would have played it in a minute if it was on Switch. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I played that. Battle Chasers Night War.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a really cool JRPG from this guy, Joe something. He's like a comic designer, comic graphic artist guy, and it's supposed to be cool. Anyways, we'll skip it because we didn't play it. SteamWorld Dig 2. I played it. I loved it. Knack 2. Everybody's favorite game on here. Probably going to number 1. That's sarcasm. Nobody played it.
Oh, what's sarcasm?
Divinity Original Sin 2. Nope. Yeah, me neither. Cuphead.
Yep.
Awesome. Did you play that, Josh?
No.
Okay. Just me and Donna. Okay, Destiny 2. Okay, I played it. I'll talk about it a little bit, but not a lot to say. Fire Emblem Warriors? Nope. Okay, Golf Story. Jake loved this game. Hat in Time I played. Injustice 2.
No.
Like I played it, but yeah, whatever. I'll keep it on here till we eliminate it really quickly.
Okay.
Middle Earth: Shadows of War. No, nobody played that one.
No.
I liked the first one so much. I didn't play
Me
it.
too.
I just as soon as they said how long the game was, I lost
And how
interest.
grindy the end is.
Yeah.
Oh man. Evil Within 2.
No.
No. Yeah, neither did I. South Park:
Yes.
Fractured Butthole. Nice. Okay. Obviously, this one's amazing. Super Mario Odyssey.
None of us have played it.
Okay.
Out this year?
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Origins. We
None
talked
of us
about
have
that.
played that either.
Did you end up getting Rhyme? Josh?
No.
Okay.
Was it a waste of your time?
Nice.
Would you buy it
No.
for a dime?
Oh.
Not enough rhymes
Only
here.
if it was given to me by a mime.
So I own this next
Do
one,
you
but
chase it with a lime?
gosh, darn you guys!
We're running out of time.
I
Do you think this is a crime?
this is a crime against everybody listening. So I'm embarrassed to say I bought this next game. I haven't even turned it on. Wolfenstein 2. Did either of you guys play it?
No, I want to
No,
though.
okay. Yeah, I do too. Call of Duty.
Do you play it with a Stein?
No. Call of Duty. No.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Star Wars Battlefront 2. I don't think anyone's played. Sonic Forces.
I've heard so many good things about that game.
Okay, and I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Let's just go over the games.
Is that the breast one?
That is the breast
No, that's
one.
Tales of Berseria.
Okay, let's go over the games we actually have played, and then we got to start figuring out a list. Okay, so For Honor.
I didn't like it that much.
So are we just cutting that
Yeah,
off?
let's just cut it. I
Okay.
don't. Yeah.
Let's not waste time.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Halo Wars 2.
Okay, I did play that, and
Should we keep it for the time being?
yeah, we can keep it.
Okay, I liked Horizon Zero Dawn enough that if it's a top 5 and we don't all come to, it's like, we don't like these other ones, I'd like to keep it there. It's not like my favorite game by any means. Eric, Torment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll keep that on for a while. Breath of the Wild, we're keeping on for sure. I mean, Nier Automata, I enjoyed again like Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm willing to cut it, but let's see what we got first.
Okay.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
I feel like none of us are gonna pick that one. We should probably
Let's cut
just
it.
cross it out.
Yeah, okay. I like Snake Pass, but I'm going to cut it. Persona 5, I'm going to hold on to again. Ukulele, I'm going to cut it. was good, but we have Mario Odyssey on this list, so pointless. Fire Emblem Echoes.
Yeah,
Should we hold it for a bit? Okay.
I really enjoyed that.
Prey. I say we hold on to it for a minute because I really did enjoy what I did play. At the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
What about Sonic Mania, Donna? Should we hold on to it for a little bit, or
Yeah,
should we?
that's fine.
Okay.
No.
No,
it's not.
cut it. Let's not waste
It
our
is
time.
great, but it is exactly what it is.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm gonna boost you. Hellblade.
Yes, keep that.
Okay, we'll keep it in talk. Uncharted.
Oh, we can cut it. I'm not even
Okay.
gonna.
Okay. I'll go through some of those cuts too. Mario plus Rabbids. I'd like to keep on just for a little bit longer. SteamWorld Dig 2, same. I'd like to talk about that a little bit more before we cut it. Cuphead, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think this might be Destiny 2. I'm gonna cut. I played it. I only played 3 hours. That's how much I enjoyed it. Golf Story, I'm gonna cut, even though I beat it. I don't think it's worth the discussion. Game of the year. Hat in Time, similar. Injustice 2, the same. Played it about for an hour and I got over it. South Park Fractured Butthole, I definitely think is going on this list somehow.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then
it better be, yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey, of course.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Origins. Unless you guys want to keep this on here, I'm going to cut Xenoblade Chronicles 2 off this list.
Okay.
Like I did, I'm
didn't
thinking
get to
about
play it, so
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
thinking about
have
trading it in already, and it's only been out for a while. So let's go over now.
So he loves it. It's his
I love
favorite
it.
game.
So let's go over what we have left right now. We've got, and if somebody could count these, because it's hard for me to count and talk. We've got Halo Wars 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Torment, Tides of Numenera, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Nier Automata, Persona 5, Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valencia, Prey, Hellblade, Mario plus Rabbids, Cuphead, South Park Fractured Butthole, Super Mario Odyssey, and Assassin's Creed Origins. So that's like 14 games?
I counted 15. Unless my
Okay, whatever. It's still more than we're going to try to do a top 5. I probably need to start cutting stuff. I only played 1 hour of Nier. As much as I enjoyed it, I'm going to cut it. It's not nobody else played it. I only played an hour.
Okay.
I'm also going to cut Horizon Zero Dawn. Played for about 5 hours, but
Just don't cut Horizon Zero Donna.
I'll cut him from the list. What do you feel about Halo Wars 2?
Oh, we could cut it because
Okay.
it was entertaining, but it didn't really like hold a place as far as Halo games go.
Okay, now we're kind of getting into harder cuts. There's no way we're cutting Cuphead, right? We all agree on that?
Not Cuthead.
Cuthead. Okay, Donna, what do you think of Torment?
I don't think it should be cut.
You don't think it should be cut yet?
I think
Okay.
that's the top 5.
Let's
I think
talk about it a little bit more then. We'll save it. I'm going to start.
I guess it just depends on. I mean, Game of the Year is such a weird.
Yeah, it's subjective.
Concept.
It's a subjective list that we want to create.
Because if I want to say like, you know, what's innovative, what's this like.
No, it doesn't.
Fire Emblem doesn't really cut it. It's just a really good game.
But if it's something you loved, then
Yeah.
let's have that discussion, because we're going to talk about the games we love separately after, as soon as we're done, just a quick like, hey, this was what I liked.
Yeah.
But we got to start cutting this.
I mean, I think we should just do this because I'm just going to speak for everyone here.
Yeah.
I think Game of the Year is going to be between Mario, Zelda, and maybe Cuphead.
Yeah, I mean, that is a top 4. We can have 5, and then we have to order them. So I really love Assassin's Creed Origins. There are very few games I'm willing to cut Mario plus Rabbids, so let's just cut that now. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I want to fight to have that in the top. I'm willing to cut Persona 5, even though I put 40 hours into it, because I didn't like it enough to beat it. I'm probably willing to cut Prey, because you guys have heard of my experience with loading. What about you?
Yeah, I'm willing to cut it because I liked it. It was fun, but it's not something that I would recommend other people play.
Yeah. Okay, so that leaves, we still have Fire Emblem Echoes, Torment, Legend of Zelda, Hellblade. Do you think Hellblade is
Hey, honestly,
gonna
like
last?
that was my favorite game that I played all
Okay,
year.
then we're not going to cut it yet. I will cut SteamWorld Dig 2. I love that game, but none of you guys played it, and it was it's not as good as some of these things on this list. Okay, I'll cut Persona 5 then. So, okay, so this leaves us with South Park, Super Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Origins, Cuphead, Torment, Breath of the Wild, Fire Emblem Echoes, and Hellblade.
Did we cut
8 games.
Wolfenstein too?
Yeah, nobody played it, so
Okay.
we just cut.
I
it
think
'cause nobody played it.
we should cut Fire Emblem.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that now we're at 7 games. This is going to be a really hard list because this year was so good. I definitely agree with you, Donna. Cuphead needs to be on this list.
Yeah.
Did you get to play, Josh?
No, but
That's like one of my favorite
I
games.
I want to. I just haven't gotten
I
it.
really think Torment should be on this list
Okay.
at
well,
the number 5 spot, but
okay, we'll have to talk about that because what I'm really seeing right now is Hellblade going against Assassin's Creed Origins because that's something that Josh and I both like. Breath of the Wild has to go on this list. I don't care if it's number 4 or number 3. I loved that game. Like that's half the reason why I kept my Switch. South Park, I think we would like on this list. It was funny and awesome, and it was enjoyable. Super Mario Odyssey, of course. So those 3 have to make it on here. Cuphead. So pretty much our 5 is going against Torment, Hellblade, and Assassin's Creed Origins.
This is tough because I think that Hellblade, not only was it a great game and a great experience, it did a lot for gaming as far as like with mental health and the way that they went about making this game and what they did with the proceeds afterwards. I think that it deserves something, but I know you guys didn't play. You guys didn't play it, so it's hard
for me to
like
fight for fight with you for it because I didn't want to even try it.
Yeah.
It came out in just too busy of a year, and it came out really close to Cuphead.
I think Torment did a great job of doing so much with dialogue, with choice, having a game that is so immersive but also not overwhelmingly long, and instead opting for a game that is really fluid depending on your playthrough, so you can play it through if you want to, many different ways, but the game itself is not, here's your map and find all your map stuff.
It's funny too because we always talk about how we hate really long games, but a lot of the ones that we're putting up here.
They're great, and we hate games that are super long because we want to play these long games. But okay, this might be an unpopular idea, but what if we cut South Park and put on Torment or one of the other ones? I love South Park. It will probably make my own top games of the year, but
is it? I would agree with that.
I just don't know if it stacks up to these other ones. It was very similar to the previous one. It was hilarious and awesome, but could we cut it?
Yeah, I think we could.
Okay, because that's something I feel like will give us a little bit of leeway. So now we have room, and I'm sorry I'm gunning so hard for this, but I love Assassin's Creed Origins. If it doesn't make it...
We're cutting South Park for the same reason that
I understand. So, Josh, a lot of this, because we want to get to the part where we can number these, which I know is obviously pointless and subjective, but something we love doing. Josh, it's really up to you on this. If you think that Hellblade is better than Assassin's Creed Origins, then I will let Assassin's Creed Origins go, and it will make it on my top 5, and I won't fight for it so hard. But I think it's a great game.
I think conceptually, because South Park we just cut, even though it's a great game that's tons of fun.
Yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed doesn't sound innovative at all.
It's just so... I liked South Park a lot. Like, I played 20 hours of it, and I still haven't beat it, which I really do want to go back. But I mean, Assassin's Creed, I've talked about it for 3 weeks, a month now? Like, it was a game I expected to not want to play. Like, I got it because my brother-in-law bought it. Like, I was going to play Wolfenstein 2. It has slowly risen up the ranks to become probably one of my favorite games I played this year. So, like I said, this is a group thing. The 3 of us played a bunch of good games this year. I don't want to shove my will on this. So that's why I'm saying, Josh, if you want to back me, then we can but it's pretty much up to that.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Like when I played Hellblade, like it resonated with me like on an emotional level. But Assassin's Creed, it's just kind of been mindless for me. It's fun, but it's just maybe it's because I haven't gotten to the end of it. But
okay. I'll cut it. It sounds to me like you really, really think Hellblade is a game that's deserving, and Donna kind of agrees with you. Okay, I'm keeping that around for at the end of this, but okay, it's gone. So, okay, our top 5 right now, or it might even be 6. Let's see where we're at. Torment, Breath of the Wild, Hellblade, Super Mario Odyssey, and Cuphead. So we got it down to 5. Let me write these somewhere so we can go to the ridiculous idea of numbering which of these games is better than other ones.
I think it should go Mario 1, Zelda 2, Cuphead 3, Hellblade 4, Torment 5.
I'm down with
I actually am really okay with that list too.
Yeah, no,
I think Torment it belongs on there, but I think it's not a famous enough game to actually change anything. I think it is a great game that did a lot of really cool things, but it's not going to be, it doesn't have the buzz that like Cuphead has.
Yeah.
And it could theoretically be a game changer if it was as like popular as Mario Odyssey, because it just does things in such a fun way. But it's not a game changer. It's a game changer for this era because this era is filled with map games, and this is like a very text immersive game.
Yeah, it's a linear, not super linear.
It kind of revived a board game to screen genre, though, too. Like,
well, I mean, there were other games that did it before it, but it was a very, this is the big one, I think, that really put NXIL back on the map. Wasteland 2, a lot of people enjoyed, but I think Torment
this is the one that's setting the stage for Bard's Tale 4 to be great.
Yeah. I feel like
Wasteland 3.
Wasteland 2 was the trial that company had to make.
I think Pillars of Eternity was the one that really like succeeded in like bringing back this computer RPG era.
And if we did remasters or whatever, that might have been on this list because that re-releases because that was released this year.
So sure was.
Here's the only thing. Do you guys think Mario is better than Zelda?
I think Mario is more important than Zelda.
I liked Breath of the Wild quite a bit. Josh, you've played both of them quite a bit. I know you've played them both too, Donna, but I'm curious where you stand on this.
I would, because I would rather, I would have rather played Zelda. Like
really?
If I was more into Zelda than I was Mario. Mario was something I just kind of picked up and played when I had time, but Zelda was something I felt compelled to sit down and play any time I got the chance to.
Donna, would that be a big thing if we put Breath of the Wild above? I know this is...
Do you really think so from your own experience, though?
From my experience, yes. I loved every minute with Mario Odyssey, but the thing is not every Zelda's grabbed me. This one was like one of the... Like, I didn't play Skyward Sword. Twilight Princess, while it was fun, like, I don't even think that was my favorite game in 2006, which wasn't even like a big year of gaming. And like... I didn't even play Ocarina of Time until I got on 3DS.
Breath of the Wild, it was a very beautiful game.
Yeah, it's just so, like, there were so many moments I remember, like, going through the storm and, like, climbing this cliff that was impossible. Like, Mario was super fun, but I just feel like Breath of the Wild changed how Zelda's played, where Mario was like, this is the best, I don't know, I can't say it definitively, but it is probably my favorite Mario I've played. So I don't know. I think Breath of the Wild did more, but it's all opinion again at this point, so... would you be opposed if we did that?
My vote is 1-2.
Oh,
I just disagree. So
okay.
I think that Mario is a more important game. I think mechanically it's more inventive, but also it's what's going to power Nintendo through because it's more accessible than Zelda.
I think we might have to vote on this one because honestly the shrines to me, man, they were super inventive. Just the idea of having multiple mini dungeons. Like previous Zeldas, you only had 8 dungeons, and that was kind of it. Mm-hmm. A handful of world puzzles, but not many. I mean, 120 of those. Like, I'll never forget the Blood Moon Shrine, probably because it was infuriating. You had to wait for a blood moon and stand in this one place.
Dude.
But yeah. I loved playing it. Like, I'll never forget the 80 hours I put in that game. Whereas, like, the jump rope mechanic ended my playthrough of Mario.
Yeah, but Mario is also like an open world version of Mario.
Yeah.
So it essentially does the same thing that Zelda does for Zelda.
To me, it's just a world preference. I prefer Zelda over Mario.
Well, I probably prefer, because I probably prefer Zelda's world just because it's cooler and darker. But
it's also a great, like, for Zelda, it felt so... Like, I felt the last few 3D Zeldas were really, really, and, I think we probably talked about this earlier, linear, where this one just allowed you finally to be like, hey, you do this opening thing, go. And you could
the last couple Marios were pretty linear, too, though, and this one is a lot more.
3D world, yeah.
So we're basically picking Game of the Year right now.
Pretty much, yeah, because I think everybody who's played it enjoyed Cuphead enough, and you're okay with us playing that 3?
Yeah.
I loved Cuphead. And the other 2 are kind of your guys' choices. Like, Hellblade and Torment, and I agree with the reason why they're on there. I will go back and play Torment. I don't think I'm ever going to feel the need to play Hellblade, but that's okay, because we will have our own little personal decisions that we'll talk about right after we're done. But I think Zelda is the stronger game, in my opinion. And obviously, like, if we want to go with Mario, I enjoyed it just as much, if not even sometimes more so. But I mean, I'll never forget my experience with Zelda.
You've already forgotten your experience with Mario?
It's not that. I just it didn't stand out to me like Zelda did. Like all the cool
Serious?
mechanics, not as much, man. Like to be honest, like I loved my experience with
Feels
Mario.
like you're changing your opinion on Mario from our conversations.
No. If you remember how much I talked about Zelda when I first got it in March, like it's not like I forget like those like climbing the tree and lighting my stick on fire to cook the apple that then falls out of the tree to then eat that. Like there were so many cool, crazy things. I was like, can you do it? Of course.
The gliding, I love the
gliding was great. Like it just was such a cool thing. Like I spent more time with Zelda than I did with Mario.
Here's where I stand on it. So you guys were talking about like doing all the extra moons and stuff in Mario, and like I didn't feel interested enough to do all that extra stuff. Whereas with Zelda, I did feel like I wanted to do the side quests. I needed to do the side quests just because it was and that might be just because that was the only Zelda that I've ever played from start to finish. And so I felt, a need to dive further into that world. But I would prefer to play Zelda over Mario, but I mean, don't let me make the choice because I know you guys loved Super Mario. Like
I loved them both. This isn't an easy decision. Like this is one of the strongest years of games. Period.
Right.
We wouldn't even be having this discussion on most years. They'd probably be like, we all agree this is the best. It's not like the year when Skyrim came out where nothing else was nearly as good. It's like, let's play Skyrim. I think Zelda, but if you guys want, we can do Mario. I don't want to like keep Super BS's thing, going for forever over it.
I think it's Zelda then.
Okay. So Super BS's games of the year are Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Cuphead, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, and Torment. Now, Donna, what were your top 3 games if you had to just choose 3? Well, I'll try to keep it to 3 because this is just a very hard list. You can number them or you don't have to, but the 3 games you think they felt, and Josh, start thinking about this as well because I'm
the ones out of the top 5.
Not out of the top 5, just the top 3 games you enjoyed. Because
okay.
like you can bet your buns, unless you guys want to do 5. Should we do 5? I feel like 3 is so hard.
Yeah.
With South Park in there too, like.
5's easier. Fire
Just do
Emblem.
5.
It's not number 1, but it's definitely on there because I really enjoyed it. Torment is definitely on there. Zelda and Mario are definitely on there. Mm-hmm. I think Mario is just probably like it's mechanically a better feeling game to me. Yeah. I think Zelda is an amazing game. The only thing about Zelda that I didn't love is that the game starts off so cool, but then as soon as you meet other characters besides the king, it's the same really shitty, dorky like Ocarina of Time characters, which I'm like sick of that goofy art style. I think I'm the only one here that's played every single Zelda.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that there should have been even a little more intrigue instead of like, oh, here's like the colorful like character with the weird mask that has a giant pack and goes like that. It's like I was kind of like hoping that it would be almost more serious. It is in a lot of ways because it's so empty and like open and cool, and it's such like a post-apocalypse Zelda in a way. But yeah, I think it could have been even a little bit more intriguing.
But still on your top 5, and you've got what else do you think would be 5, man? If you had to choose,
let's see. Probably if I'm being realistic with things that both came out this year and that I played, it would be South Park.
Even over Cuphead?
Oh, no, Cuphead would be 5, yeah.
Because that's such a hard... I mean, it's like silly how good this year was.
Yeah, I'd say Cuphead. Cuphead also highlights something that I wish more games were, which is shorter, so...
Yeah. Well, it's shorter and it's challenging enough that I want to say I played it for like 10, 12 hours still because it was like fun and challenging. So that's your 5 that you think, and do you have any particular order you want to do, or just these 5 that you
No,
loved?
yeah, I think just those 5.
All right, so Cuphead, Donna liked Cuphead, Torment, Tides of Numenera, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valencia, and Super Mario Odyssey. Right?
Yeah, if this was a list of games I played this year, it would be much more challenging.
It would,
15 and Dragon Age and,
Yeah, this that's why I'm glad. We were originally going to have multi-sections and like
Oh,
best
geez.
music. I mean, we already spent
Narrowed
20
it down.
plus minutes talking about just
Yeah.
that. So, Josh, what are 5 games that you really enjoyed that came out this year?
All right, so I got Legend of Zelda. Would probably be my top pick.
Okay.
Hellblade would be second. I got let's see, Super Mario, Assassin's Creed, and then Uncharted would probably be my 5th one. But I would never nominate that for a Game of the Year award for anything.
Even though it's your 5th, you think Uncharted, what else have you played?
It's relative to what you've played.
Yeah, I
too.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at
yeah.
this list, and your options aren't great.
Yeah.
Mass Effect,
Mass
Andromeda,
Effect,
Halo Wars
For
2.
Honor, Halo Wars.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
probably
I would
your
like
best
to.
one.
I would like to play more games this year. I just, time has been limited for me.
This next year, if we do a Game of the Year again, is going to be so hard because I have a feeling we're going to be playing the games from this year still next
well
year.
into 2018. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out a way to have an award.
I already
for-
know that my game of the year next year is Dragon Quest 11. So just
If
let you
that
guys
comes
know.
out, I'm really hoping it does.
Dragon Quest 11 and Pillars of Eternity 2 are my games of the year.
Oh yeah, I hope they both.
I'm
arrive,
hoping
but
Borderlands 3, man. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out.
I'll keep holding out, man. Try starting to hold your breath.
Unless it becomes Borderlands Begins and is all like serious and not cool.
They
and
changed the. It looks like Halo.
So I'm gonna do my 5 real quick, and I think I'll number them. Breath of the Wild is my number 1. Mario Odyssey is number 2. I think not a lot of people would agree with me. I think Assassin's Creed Origins is number 3 because unless it starts going real downhill real quick, I absolutely love it. Cuphead would probably be number 4. And oh my goodness, this is such a hard list. As much as I like South Park, just because I had never played really a Persona before, I think I'm gonna do Persona 5 for my number 5. Like I really did enjoy.
I think if I had played Persona 5,
Yeah.
it would have been on there somewhere.
Yeah,
instead of
'cause-
South Park.
Yeah, it was a really, really cool game. Like I'm sure Nier Automata is probably better and Horizon Zero Dawn's better, but I played 40 hours of Persona 5 and I only played 2
I
to
don't
3
think-
hours of each of those.
I doubt, because Horizon Zero Dawn seems like the epitome of like Sony love. It's a really
Yeah.
cool, but it's also just a map game like every single game this year.
Yeah.
But Persona 5 sounds and looks and seems way more interesting.
But Nier Automata is also there, and I've heard that's like one of the most amazing games. From people who played through all 5 of the endings, they say it's like the best
Yeah,
game.
that's
I just
the
only
number
played
one.
2.
That's the number one game I wish I played this year.
Persona
Yeah,
5
still.
is everyone. I've never heard a single bad thing about it.
Really?
Everyone
I've
who
heard some
like,
negative stuff.
I think something that's interesting about Persona games is that I don't think you get a lot of opinions from people that don't like them because
Yeah.
they just don't play them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think Persona's it's like really famous, but it's like a niche audience. So it's like
Yeah. The
It's like-
JRPG fans. And,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a specific type. Like
Yeah, it's to me it's like anime, but it's without all the stuff I hate about anime. Like they didn't fixate on so far in the first 40 hours. It wasn't just like fixate woman's chest, here do this, do that. And that's not like the worst thing, but I'm just saying it's like, oh man, this is fan service for no reason. Like at least like try to put something behind it. And they also made the characters pretty interesting. Like even though like, and for me and JRPGs, like I think the only JRPG I could say where the characters, well, I can't say that they aren't interesting, but where they aren't just like tropes was like 15.
well, you should say modern.
Yeah,
JRPG.
modern. Yeah, I should say,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, modern. Because previously none of them were like crazy trope characters.
But on this list, the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the best one. Right?
that's my number 1 game.
I think actually, I think Tales of Berseria looks worse than Xenoblade Chronicles 2
yeah.
in the
Oh
breast
yeah,
department.
sure. Well,
'Cause
Tales
she's
of
just wearing a bra.
yeah, Tales of Berseria 2 or Tales of Berseria, I mean, it's just stupid. Like that's why none of us played it. Like I almost wish it would have won our best game of the year because we've hated on it so much. But it looked so dumb, I couldn't get myself to even buy it at $20. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's cool. We'll try to put those lists up somewhere so if people want to read instead of listen, that's cool. And before we go, we need to do some housekeeping.
Housecleeping.
And you want to
Housecleeping.
mention something about romancing because we were talking about this was off air, the Saga games.
Oh yeah, we'd love to romance our listeners.
You were talking about how
Build
there
a
was
little
a
yeah.
CS
No, but coming out to Switch and Xbox
and
and
PS4 and everything
and
Friday.
PlayStation 4 and Vita and stuff. Probably PC too, I'm assuming.
I think so. I think it's
is Romancing Saga
everything.
2, which is a Super Nintendo era RPG, so you know it's probably cool.
Yeah.
That's never been released in America before. Or did it come out on phones last year?
I think so, but I'm really bad because Square Enix releases so many ports on things I don't care about. That
Yeah,
I'm just,
it might have come out. So either way, it's generally speaking new to the U.S., even if it came out on phones earlier. Saga games have a weird lineage. They're really interesting. They're unique. They often have multiple characters to play through, or not often. I think they always have multiple characters to play through, except for the Game Boy ones.
Final Fantasy Legends.
Yeah, and yeah, it's coming out on Switch, which is probably the system to get it on. Because
What you were telling us about off air though that you want to bring up was it's from the 3DS. They did something on DS that
no.
had a 3D port.
It would be awesome if they decided to port. So there's these Game Boy games. There's Final Fantasy Adventure, then Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 that are actually not Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy Adventure is
Secret of
Mana. It's
the
the first
second
Secret of
Setsu
Mana.
game,
It's
yeah.
this first
Wait,
Second Setsu game.
why would they name it Final
Because
Fantasy?
Final
those
Fantasy had a
were
name.
Yeah,
Is
because
that what's sold?
yeah, in the U.S. those the Mana franchise hadn't been ported yet.
Okay.
Because I think Final Fantasy Adventure came out before Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
And then Saga games had never been released here either. So
Brand recognition.
Okay,
Like Final Fantasy
So they
Tactics.
named him. Well, Final Fantasy Tactics includes elements of Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
though.
but it was though originally I can't remember what series it was, but it was like not a Final Fantasy series.
It's made by the guy that did Ogre Battle or Tactics Ogre, but it was made as like it wasn't like a Tactics Ogre game that was rebranded. It was made like this is Final Fantasy Tactics, I think.
Okay. Well, I don't know enough off the top of my head. But anyways, you
Yeah,
were mentioning
anyway.
the DS.
The DS ones are just they're really cool remakes of Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 as Saga games. I'm surprised they didn't get ported out here because that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for
But
this one on Switch.
It'd be important because what's the other Saga game that came out that's supposed to be cool? Saga Graces or something
Oh my goodness.
that came out.
I know which one you're talking about. It came out on PlayStation 2 at the end of its
No,
life.
it came out on Vita. It's like a newer one.
Oh, okay. Man, at this point, I don't even know because there was so much stuff released, and something's going on with the audio, so sorry about that. There's so much stuff released kind of at the end of cycles. Like, I want to say the PlayStation 2 had a Saga.
Unlimited Saga, I think.
No, but it also, or was that PlayStation 3 that had like an old school, like, Super Nintendo Saga game released in 3D?
No, that's PlayStation 2. That's Romancing Saga 1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that game, like, they do that stuff at the end of the cycles like a ton, and I always kind of lose track.
Yeah.
You know?
Square released a bunch of RPGs at the end of the 360 cycle too. It was like the Last Remnant and
Those are
No,
actually in the
Last Remnant
beginning.
were the beginning of
Yeah,
the
that was
360 cycle.
that and that game you played that always looked really cool.
Infinite Undiscovery.
Infinite
Yeah,
Undiscovery.
that's a cool one.
Yeah, I
That
wanted
was
to
a
play.
Yeah,
it.
those are the Tri-Ace games. Those games are.
Yeah.
They haven't really done much this generation. It seems like.
No, they did the terrible Star Ocean, I think. I think they're
That was
responsible for
Oh, Star Ocean 5. Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think they're responsible for that. I always wanted to get it because it's like $10 now, but I just haven't no time. You know, I mean, there's too many good games.
Yeah, it's supposed to be bad.
So
Play
real
crappy
quick,
games.
you had mentioned to me, in our thread that we have that this Romancing Saga coming out on the Switch is not the remaster, correct?
No, it is. I mean, it's
It's not a 3D remaster.
not
Okay.
a remake.
Yeah, it's a sprite-based remaster of the original, I guess.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry we're doing such a short episode today, guys. We're kind of recording at a different time, so we have to run a little bit early. If you guys could rate and review us on iTunes, that'd be awesome. We're Super BS. You can email us at superbscast@gmail.com. In the future, we'd love to have, like, what were your favorite games of the year? But we've just been lazy about our social media because we hate it.
Right. And you can also follow us on Twitter, right? We started
Twitter, Tumblr,
Facebook,
and Instagram. Yeah, and just Super BS Cast, Super BS Games Cast. Next year, we're gonna try a lot of different things. We might be trying to do like some Christmas themed stuff that we're all like in discussion about, but hopefully it will be really good. In case we don't get to talk to you before the new year, have a Merry Christmas if that's what you celebrate, or Happy Holidays, and a great New Year's. Anything else you guys want to add?
Play games.
Peace.
That to us people that can feel things, it hurts.